It's been 15 years, but Tron is back in theaters, and so are we. Wasn't too long ago that I was in Disneyland getting a sneak peek at Tron ARES, and Jared Leto actually came up on stage, and they had 9 Inch Nails pop up there, and I thought, oh my God, I can't wait to see this movie, and I can't wait to see this movie with Johnny Millennium from Happy Console Gamer.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I was actually excited to see this movie.
Yes. I love Tron. Did you love the original Tron?
I love the original Tron. I wanted to ask you, did you see it in the theater?
I did. Yes, I did.
What was your thoughts back in '82 when it came out?
It was incredible. It was so surreal and so mind-blowing. It was in this sort of machine gun blast of all of these movies that were coming out around that, Superman and Close Encounters and Star Wars and Alien and then Tron, and it was
Conan, I know.
Yeah, mind-blowing. All of these things that were changing the world. So yeah, it was awesome. And I actually have kind of a crazy story about that original Tron. I saw it with a buddy who was high on acid.
Oh no! Oh, and I just want to say that was not me.
That was not John.
Oh my God!
And he lost his mind.
I bet.
He ended up with his face down in an arcade machine, just looking at all the pixels in the thing. Later that night.
I'm getting shivers of that. So creepy and weird. He went into Tron. What a way to start this review. I love it.
So weird.
I love it.
And so that movie changed everything. Tron Legacy in 2010, I thought was just beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Such a spectacular treat. You watched them recently. I watched Tron Legacy recently.
Yeah, I bought the 4K of the original Tron, and I watched that on the weekend, and I was just like, oh wow, the nostalgia hit me.
Yeah.
And then I watched Tron Legacy, a movie at first in the theater I didn't particularly love.
Oh really?
I've come to appreciate it a lot more, especially watching the first Tron, then jumping into that, and then jumping into this today. It's been a fascinating journey. We've journeyed into the mainframe. It's been crazy.
And what's so bizarre about Tron Legacy, but especially Tron ARES, is that they were filmed in Vancouver. and so there's a lot of Vancouver scenery in Tron Legacy. Vancouver's like the co-star more than any movie I've ever seen.
I know, me too. I'm just like, I know that place.
Dude.
For me, in fact, we're filming in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Everywhere they're filming is here.
This is the set.
This is right here, the set.
Welcome to the set of Tron ARES. We saw the movie just over there, and I'm thinking their light cycles went right by the theater.
It was insane. It was so funny. I know they should call it like Tron Vancouver.
Tron Vancouver.
Vancouver, of course. Why wouldn't you call it that when you shoot every single scene there?
Okay, let's talk about the movie.
Yes.
We're not going to spoil it, but we're going to have a quick little spoiler chat after we give our full review on this.
Sure.
First of all, we have to praise the visual effects, I think. Yeah.
Well, that's without question.
Yeah.
And not only the visual effects, which are phenomenal, but the soundtrack by the 9 Inch Nails.
Oh my God.
And in Tron Legacy, they have Daft Punk.
Yeah.
Now we have 9 Inch Nails, which is amazing.
It is amazing. Not as good, I think, though, because I just watched Tron Legacy last night as the Daft Punk score, which I absolutely
which
adore.
I really love as well. But I think this is fantastic.
It is great.
And we watched this in an IMAX, and we have to talk about that,
yes.
which was an overwhelming experience visually and sound-wise. I left the theater. I had to catch my breath. I know. I'm turning into like some crazy old man here.
I'm going to say this, man. I'm going to say this. I think that might have been the loudest screening I've ever attended in Vancouver.
Yeah, you would know.
I've been to a lot of movies here. I've reviewed a ton of movies here. And in the States, I've found that they crank the levels on films. Every time I'm down there, I'm like, holy crap, these things are loud here. But Vancouver doesn't have loud films quite like this one.
No, that's the loudest one I think I've ever heard as well. Like, just for when the movie begins, I'm in my seat. I'm like, I don't think I'll be able to handle
It's
it.
the Memorex ad with the hair's flying back.
Yeah, I felt like that, and I think that's a compliment to the movie as well. The soundtrack kicks in, the visuals kick in, and you're like, wow.
Did you notice that Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross are executive producers on the movie?
That's fascinating.
The music is stitched into this thing. Throughout the whole thing. Quiet moments, of course, blasting loud action movies, action moments. It's really incredible how it's sort of tethered like that. And I applaud that. I think, aesthetically, that's incredible. And the visual effects, we're going to see outstanding stuff. Although I will say that Tron Legacy, directed by Joseph Kosinski, kind of laid the groundwork. And this is a real echo. There's echoes of shots. There's echoes of craft. And some of the action bits and stuff. But of course, the conceit here is the grid comes to our world.
That's right. And I know what you're talking about. The visuals in this are its own thing, but it does harken back to the originals, pays homage.
Yeah.
And I think they did some really great ways, even with the little sound bites.
Yes.
And I won't ruin where those are throughout.
Yeah.
But when you went from the original Tron to Tron Legacy, those look like two different movies.
They were, yes.
And then
this one bridges a little bit better. Yes, I agree.
And I was kind of happy to see that. Let's get into the story without ruining this story.
It's a focus on Jared Leto playing ARES in the world of Tron. He's a program on the grid, and he sort of gets a taste of the real world, and he wants more. And so there's a real sort of power grab between him and the leader that is in control of him. And I'm trying not to spoil too much.
Well, I mean, they say that right off the bat. It's not right in the first 1 minute of the movie.
Yeah, and there are family bonds, and there are connections, obviously, to the Kevin Flynn legacy and all that stuff in there. Really, the story structure is, I want to be a real boy. It's a Pinocchio story.
It kind of is. I didn't think about that when I was watching it.
It's also like Blade Runner. It's like one of the replicants wanted to come alive.
This movie replicates, no pun intended, a whole bunch of other movies.
Yep.
There's scenes out of here from Akira.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, what the heck?
You got some Blade Runner and you got some Terminator.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
And a little RoboCop, a little Jurassic Park. I mean, the director, and I forget his name, I apologize, but he's definitely been a student of all of this work.
Definitely. You can see that throughout. Yeah, there kind of is the good versus evil in here, the humanity versus the inhumanity, how to use technology in a great way, how to use technology in a terrible way.
Yeah.
I'm doing it pretty good without saying what that is.
Yeah.
I think they pulled this off, but I just feel this. I'm just going to say this. I felt like this was a 3.5-hour movie. I was just like, there is so much going on. We're in, we're out, out of the computer world, back in.
Yeah.
It's a lot. But I must admit, I did really enjoy this story and these characters.
Me too. I did. I like the characters. I like the story and the ideas, especially as we are being encroached on by all of this AI marketing around us everywhere and AI everywhere. It feels like a contemporary kind of story. It feels pertinent to what's going on in reality. The one thing that I will say is that the heart that is in this film doesn't feel especially authentic. It feels really calculated, almost AI created in a way.
I agree with you on that.
Right?
I do,
And there was, I think, a real lost opportunity there to humanize it, and that's what Jeff Bridges brought to Tron.
Yeah.
He brought that kind of cynicism and that humanity. He didn't believe any of the crap that was happening, even when he hit the grid.
He was kind of like a hippie, right?
Yeah, he was a hippie, but he was like a charming Han Solo guy. He was a skeptical anti-hero that gets kind of pulled in. Not with a nasty attitude, he was still a funny dude. That's the other thing, is that this movie is really lacking humor. It's really missing any sense of levity or joy. It's bleak and it's like heavy all the way through.
It's a heavy movie all the way through. I don't know. You know, the funny thing is, for me, I know everything that you're saying is correct.
Yep.
But for some reason,
as it always is, John.
Yeah, as it always is. But I was really taken along for the ride, and there was never a moment.
Well, it's so unique.
Yeah, there was never a moment when I said, I'm bored.
Right.
I was never bored. There was always something going on. Almost to a fault that too many things were going on at certain times.
Absolutely.
But it all served the story, and I got the overall story I get, but it was just a little too convoluted with in and out of, the computer world back and forth.
And I'm complaining about stuff, wanting Tron ARES to be a perfect movie, but none of these Tron movies have been perfect movies.
That's right. Even the original Tron movie. I know.
But what's so amazing about it is this, calculation of vision and this sort of coming together and keeping Steven Lisberger, who was like one of the original creators of the concept, involved with this production all the way along, and tipping the hat to Joseph Kosinski, who's a producer on this movie as well, and just sort of keeping an air of its unique universe. And it's been 15 years since we had Tron Legacy, and that wasn't a huge smash, and the first Tron wasn't a huge smash, but here Disney is reinvesting in this world for us, and I freaking love this world.
I love the world.
I love the shininess of it and the glowing things coming off of the different craft, and we get much more than just light cycles now, and I just love the manifestation of this grid concept.
No pun intended. The manifestation of the computer world world coming into the real world, and that's the big thing in this movie. Is finally it's coming into our world, and how does that affect our world?
Yes.
And what does that really say for the future of humanity?
Right.
And they're touching on that, and they kind of we won't say anything. I was just going to go into a bit of the ending of the movie.
Or what is humanity?
What is right? I was thinking that during one key scene, and we won't say what it is. We'll talk about it in the spoiler.
There's a profundity to all of this. Like, it's not the fictional work to kind of get us thinking such deep thoughts, but I think that's why actors and writers and creators of pedigree are attracted to this universe, because it does kind of examine our fascination and our obsession and our reliance on computer technology. The missed opportunity again is there's no Tron game out with this.
Okay.
And I also feel like for a movie based around video game properties, nothing sort of illustrated about games is that particularly alluring or current, I think, when they show us any game
Right, because when the
it.
original Tron movie came out, we had that Tron arcade game.
Yes.
I remember definitely playing that.
That was state-of-the-art.
That was state-of-the-art
right.
at
and the
at
movie
that
was
time.
state-of-the-art, and I feel like the effects are state-of-the-art, but the world around the Tron gaming and all that is not state-of-the-art.
Yeah, and well, the thing is as well is that, as you said, they're gambling on another Tron movie.
I
are they really
that.
Are they going to really gamble on a Tron video game?
I want them to.
Well, I want the movie to be a success so we can get things, and I want more future Tron movies. I don't want this to be the end.
I do like this universe. I do feel like because of all of this AI that it wouldn't surprise me if the first Disney property where they start to experiment with AI creation is going to be this.
And you know what?
Yeah.
We'll have our own AI reviewers to review the movie. And we'll be sitting at home, having a beer or something. We won't have to worry about anything anymore.
I'm with you. There's things that bug me about this movie. I do feel like the grid is more interesting than seeing Vancouver over and over again in this movie.
I know, that took me out, but that's because we live here, Rick. I knew every location, and so did you. We wouldn't even look at each other. We're just like, Vancouver,
this is so vague. I mean, it's crazy. That's the walk I take to get home right there. It's
I know. So many
nuts.
places we review movies. I don't know, we were standing there.
And honestly, we know this world, whether you live in Vancouver or know Vancouver or not, you know the real world. The grid is fascinating, and there's obviously so much more to plumb there. And I do want Disney to continue with it. Maybe a cool Disney show or something.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's
cool.
It is cool escapism. And even though Tron has influenced so many things, it is its own deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel it hasn't been explored enough, hasn't it? Can you believe it's 15 years ago from Legacy?
I know.
I remember seeing it with Kim. Me and Kim were just first going out.
And then it was, 28 years or something from the first one to Tron
right,
Legacy?
82. I know, to 2015.
If
crazy.
I'm doing my math
well,
here.
I know.
So talk about permanence with this concept, with this thing, and also opportunity and potential still to go further with it. I don't know if this is going to succeed, though. I'm actually curious. Are you excited to see Tron ARES? Are you going to go out to the theater and support this movie? Let us know in the comments below, but we got to get to the scores. What are you going to give this?
Score. You score it first.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
I enjoyed my time in the theater. I agree with all the falls.
Yeah.
But I got to give it an 8 just for the pure visuals.
Sure.
And the sound, and it did transport me away for that 2 hours. And maybe that's all a movie's supposed to really do.
Yeah. I mean, I might go up when I see this again, because I know this is going to be one that I'm going to want to watch at home. But right now I'm sitting at a 7. All right, let's talk a little bit about the spoilers here. So if you haven't seen the movie and you're going to go see the movie, don't watch this. But for those that do and have stuck around, first of all, the absence of Sam Flynn is...
This is what I said to you right after the movie had ended, and I said, where is his son?
I know, because he was great. Gareth Hedlund, the actor, he was a great protagonist.
I know, I'm like, we should be running into him. He should be in the real world.
Yeah, and Cora, played by Olivia Wilde.
She was fantastic, too.
Fan-freaking-tastic.
Fantastic.
And they completely dropped the ball with giving us a little bit of their story.
Not even some kind of flashbacky things at the end they kind of do.
Yeah.
The only thing I was really wondering is, this is called Tron. Where is Tron?
And where's Bruce Boxleitner?
He's not in the movie.
I know, and I reading about this thing coming together, he was pissed because he was waiting and waiting and waiting.
No way.
And they never brought him.
No way.
Put him into it in any capacity.
That's ridiculous.
And it is ridiculous because the world isn't Tron. Tron was the protector of the world.
Exactly.
And it's ridiculous that Tron isn't a part of
Well,
this.
that is a crying shame, and
Yes.
I want to change my score now to 7 out of 10. I'm changing it right now because of the absence and for the reasoning. They just said no. He just wasn't included. Forget it.
Okay, and obviously the Dillinger name is in there, and Gillian Anderson and Evan Peters are playing part of the Dillinger family, and we've got Greta Lee, who's taken over at NCOM, and she's on a quest to find this technology that takes stuff digitally and converts it into real life things, which
and vice versa, the opposite way as well.
Which seems like a really cool concept, and maybe a potential with nanomachines or something like that down the road, or something.
I mean, just for the good of the planet, this is amazing. Yeah. But meanwhile, the Dillinger Corporation wants to create tanks and robots and machines to go for war, and that's the juxtaposition, which is that's what I really liked about the movie. And was the difference between the two.
And it felt like there would be some realistic kind of ideas there. There would be somebody wanting to monetize the weaponization of that technology.
Of course.
I liked Leto in this role. The thing that kind of drove me nuts is that this feels like he's playing almost the same character as the Blade Runner character, Blade Runner 2049,
right.
But he can see now. He's got that sort of gruff, emotionless kind of timbre to everything, which fits with the character.
Yeah.
And it's a decent performance, but it's hard to emotionally care about somebody that's like that.
I understand you, but do you know what? During the end, I was kind of there. I was kind of enjoying this.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you. At first, I'm like, no, he's a cold-blooded killing machine, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, and then the movie's like, care about him, and then I was like, yeah, okay, I'll care about him. I don't mind. What have I got to lose?
I mean, he's an Oscar-winning actor. He's an accomplished guy.
I thought he was super great in this movie.
And I actually really like Greta Lee too. I'm digging that she's expanding into different roles and stuff. I've been enjoying her in the morning show, and she's been doing lots of good stuff. So she keeps popping up.
She was fine, but she didn't sell the emotion. I know they were trying to sell her sister.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if here's my weird thing.
Yeah.
I thought Tron, ARES, was going to go into the computer world and come back as her sister.
Right.
I don't know why. I thought that'd be the emotional payback. And he's like I've gone through
human beings.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't that be weird?
Yeah.
I was thinking maybe something like that was going to happen, and it certainly did not. Nope.
All right, so we're going to spoil the very last little bit right here.
Okay.
Well, actually, two different things. There's a retro sequence, which is incredibly important, and we see all the retro 80s effects.
Oh, I love that.
That was amazing.
Amazing.
And we get to see Tron. We get to see Ares. I keep wanting to call him Tron.
Yeah, I know. Well, because he kind of is. He's a new Tron.
He is a new Tron. I guess so, right? Yeah. You're right. I didn't even consider that. He does become the new Tron. Well, he connects with Kevin Flynn, or a manifestation, hologram.
Which was great.
Which was cool. And he also encounters Bit, which I love.
That was great.
I love Bit that from the original Tron. He rides an original Tron light cycle.
Oh, I'm not joking. I had a small tiny
dope.
little one.
That was
dope. Because they got the visuals right. You could get that wrong. They kind of didn't do that in Legacy.
Yeah.
But they returned here, and I liked that a lot.
And then at the very end of the movie, we see Dillinger reach for a retro Frisbee-style data disc and put it on his back, and he becomes a new version of Sark from the original Tron.
Yeah.
And he's screaming, and then it cuts. And I thought, okay, that's pretty freaking cool. And also for Tron lovers, like both you and I, it's like, yeah, we want more.
Definitely a cliffhanger if you ever seen one. I mean, it's so set up.
Yeah.
It's like, you have Jared Leto taken off somewhere in the world, and then Dillinger's in the computer world. It's just like, can I just say something?
And they set up Sam Flynn and Cora as well. Like, we can see them in the next movie.
He looks like he's going to go see them.
Yeah.
So one of the main points I was thinking was, what was even the point of Flynn throughout this entire series? He hasn't solved anything.
Right.
It just keeps getting ruined, and he keeps showing up going, oh, guys, hey, I'll fix it, don't worry. And then all of a sudden, everything. But right after that, like, he combined in Legacy to make everything
explode.
For sure. And then here we are again with another problem. And it's just like,
that's the morality of it all.
I guess it is. It's humanity is corrupt and just keeps going.
And we can't control this thing.
Yeah.
We've created
and he's
Frankenstein.
Like sure.
And they tease Frankenstein. They tease Frankenstein in this one or in Tron Legacy. It's all blurring in my head.
Yeah.
But they tease the idea that once you build this stuff, and that's the message around AI, how are we going to control it?
I know.
How are we going to control it?
We just need Jeff Bridges to show up and go, hey, man, it's going to be okay.
So I say definitely go see it. Temper your expectations, and I think you're going to have a good time. But I don't think it's as good as Legacy, and it's definitely not as good as the original.
Yeah, and there's no Tron in it.
And there's no Tron. Crazy.